Okay, well, hello, my name is Cami, and today I'm talking about how poverty affects people. Poverty is known as a worldwide issue, and it's most likely a resistant virus hard to eliminate. Regardless of the charity's work and efforts, for decades, poverty has been and it still affects humans in all its forms. Um, Poverty is linked to an endless list of aspects. Um, and of course, the most vulnerable are children. And the most vulnerable are children, but also adults are involved in these situations. For example, we have health, education, malnutrition, and diseases, and low income, that these are the biggest problems that these people have to live with. And it is common to hear about how many people are in need in this world. But many of us are asking, is this real? And well, it is. And poverty exists in developing countries. And of course, the most affected in these cases are Africa, Asia, Latin America, India, and Europe. And of course, poverty affects the humans in all its forms, like I mentioned. For many years, big organizations have developed programs to eradicate poverty. However, the statistics show that the numbers are still big, and we can really believe how many people are out there suffering in poverty. For example, let's talk about health. It is considered the number one problem that keeps these people from escaping poverty. The Boredom Project reports the principal factors that cause health issues, many of these leading to death. For example, they reported that in 7 developing countries, there is 179 million children that are not receiving immunizations. Immunizations that can be saving these lives and basically from infectious diseases. And another report says that almost 3 billion people lack access to toilets, and 1 billion don't have access to clean drinking water. These reports are from these institutions that constantly are helping these people. Health issues are also caused by malnutrition. That's another issue. It links together. Poverty is not just really being sick or not be able to see a doctor. Poverty is hunger. The lack of nutrients decreases the immune system. It decreases high risk of common diseases or infections, and it also delays recovery. The World Bank, UNICEF, and the World Health Organization statistics show that nearly half of the deaths in children are caused by the malnutrition. 200 million children in developing regions are suffering for underweight for their age, and 20% of them die before their 5th birthday. Malnutrition not affects only children; it also affects adults. Adults suffer micronutrient diseases. Micronutrient deficiencies that is basically linked to the lack of nutrients, vitamins, minerals, etc. Malnutrition, like I said, it affects all the ages. This report also talks about that in 2014, there were 462 million adults underweight. All these reports are from these developing regions and developing countries. Like I said, the malnutrition affects all the ages, but the biggest impact is in children. Children with poor nutrition and poor health tend to lose concentration and drop out of school. Although education, which is considered a human right, and one of the most powerful tool in way to reduce poverty, many of these kids are not part of the education systems. Unfortunately, the report in 2015, UNESCO says that 50 million children are out of school. The Boredom Project reports 160 million children that are not even attending primary school. The numbers are extremely high, and this organization says they believe and estimate that if every children will gain basic education, 171 million people could be lifted out of poverty. However, there are many other issues that keeps children from going to school. And now let's talk about diseases. All these population living in extreme conditions tend to be at higher risks of diseases and infections. And technically, UNICEF reports, and the biggest health issue is in Africa. In 2016, they found 216 million reports of malaria cases, and these caused 400,000 deaths, 800 under the age of 5, and the most shocking report is that pregnant women are also victims from these diseases. The Borden Project reported that malaria, pneumonia, diarrhea, and tuberculosis are the most deadliest diseases over there. They report numbers, the statistics show that 830 pregnant women die daily for these causes in those countries. And per year, 200 million newborns die at the first month of age. The Borden Project reported all these numbers. Besides, one more added to the list was the 3.5 million kids under the age of 15 live with HIV. For these individuals, a happy life seems to be unreachable. Diseases, malnutrition, poor skills plunge them into poverty, keeping them away from seeking for new opportunities, including jobs. Lastly, I want to talk about the labor conditions in these countries. Jobs are very limited and the incomes are very low. Due to the necessity of contributing food and clothing, many children tend to seek for jobs and leave school. Of course, children underage should be in school, but instead of this, I'm trying to find an income for their families. According to the International Labor Office, in 2016, 152 children were in labor. These children were in the ages of 5 and 17 years old. Children that could be, like I said, in school, they're trying to find a little bit of income that is not even sufficient for their families. It's not enough because the factors like limited resources, the lack of skills, and locational disadvantage, they are responsible for the low wages in these countries. The World Bank, based on the report research group, they reported in 2013, 10.7% of these countries' population living at or below $1.90 a day. That was extremely low, and unfortunately, once again, if they don't attend a school, if they are plunged into this situation, they most likely will live like that forever with a low income trying to survive. And with an income like this, it is easy to understand how poverty surrounds them and keeping them from achieving a successful life. And also, it's known that common factors that cause poverty are poor land utilization, poor governance, and of course, corruption. And although these poverty issues can only be fought by the presence of strong institutions, it is necessary the intervention of governments. Well, today we overview how many people are still suffering in these hard conditions, and it's a hardship condition for them that they live with every single day. They live every day battling with what it seems to be a denial of a decent life, human rights, and human needs. For some people, this might be an eye-opener of what is happening in other parts of the world and how many people still live in poverty. Thank you.